Hi, folks. I'm Joseph Pedoriano. Today is the first episode of the Next Level series, Season 1, Episode 1. This episode is centered around community giving to each other. This is especially crucial during this time right now, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to give to the community. But we have a participant in the episode, actually two participants, Derek Barrero Jr. and Elena Barrero. Derek goes to Farrell High School, and Elena goes to Notre Dame High School. And this episode is centered around their organization, Staten Cares. Join them with me today as we discuss how their organization benefits the community. Thank you.
Hi, Joe. I'm Derek Barrero. I'm a junior at Monsignor Farrell High School.
And I'm Elena Barrera. I'm a freshman at Notre Dame Academy.
Both of you have done a lot of great work in the community, as I know. And
Thank you.
I would like for you folks to introduce your organization, Staten Cares.
Okay, so basically Staten Island Cares is a program that takes volunteers in the community of Staten Island and assigns them to a given senior citizen who can't leave their house due to COVID-19. It's basically a food delivery system where we take the volunteer, we send them out for the senior citizen, they return with the groceries, and that's how our program works.
How many volunteers do you have in your organization?
We have about 10 to 15 volunteers helping out, and we have about 10 to 15 senior citizens. So it's pretty even right now.
What made you start this organization?
We realized how the senior citizens are affected by this, and we wanted to reach out and help them so that they knew that there is someone here helping them and that they weren't alone going through this time.
Follow up with that, elaborate on that in terms of, what you have in mind, for this organization, what you have, in terms of your ideals, your mission for the organization. Talk about that.
Of course. I think that what we have here is a great program that could benefit tons of not only senior citizens, it could help a large group of people during this COVID-19 pandemic. And I feel like if we could get the word out there, if we could spread awareness to what we're doing, we could maybe expand into the whole island and hopefully get it going all over the island.
Nice. You eventually want this to become an organization that is right now it's a movement, obviously. It's a movement that was started, actually, believe it or not, on social media, on Instagram. It's at Staten Island _cares. And that's important, obviously. One of the big things that I've noticed is that a lot of businesses have been giving back to the community. And how has your reception been with the businesses so far in Staten Island?
So far, I think we've had great reception with some of the businesses. We've actually paired up with Santino's last Friday, and we're doing this every Friday now. We're bringing 85 meals to Staten Island North Hospital, and we're giving it to the nursing staff there, just so they could, because they're working like 12-hour shifts. They're going long times. They're really doing the most right now. And we honestly bless them. We thank them so much. We're just trying to do our part, trying to help out any way we can.
Mm-hmm.
So us and Santino's, we're doing that. So that's great.
Do you eventually want to expand this organization beyond Staten Island? Is your goal to, maybe make it a national organization where people could open up their own chapters and, create something like this nationwide, or do you want this to be a movement for now?
I think that we have potential and that we can make it on that national reign, that we can bring it to be something more than what it is now. But for right now, we're just trying to focus on getting it out there to the people of Staten Island and making it count here in the home, the community.
Mm-hmm. And Elena, your goal, so do you eventually want this to be just a senior citizen organization, or do you want this to go beyond senior citizens in terms of?
Eventually I want to expand it to people with special needs, like everybody else, because we can definitely help more than just the senior citizens.
That's incredible. This is truly amazing what your organization has done in terms of that aspect. Your organization has really how many people have you helped out in terms of the numbers of people you've helped out? Talk about that.
The number of senior citizens, or the not only senior citizens, we actually have some people that their family has been affected by COVID-19.
Mhm.
So we've been helping them out too. But altogether, our numbers are around 10 to 15 people on our list that we volunteer and help with.
Hmm. But I remember you gave 82 hot meals in that aspect. Were those meals for hospital workers only?
Oh, well, we gave them for the nursing staff, since, yes, it was mostly for the hospital staff,
Mhm.
because those nurses, like I said, are working insanely long hours, insanely long shifts, and they don't really have time to ever sit down and eat. So we just brought them, like a little meal, like a meal in a box, a sandwich from Santino's, chips, a drink, just some fruits too. But it was for the nursing staff, to help out the nursing staff for all they're doing for us.
And what has the nursing staff done for your organization? Well, they've done a lot for the community, but now, do you have any any support from the hospital or from the nursing staff? Did you have any?
Not directly. We were just donating to the nursing staff because we feel like what they're doing during this pandemic is amazing. We don't have any direct affiliation with the nurses.
That's important.
Yeah.
And, and the goal, so the long-term goal is eventually to make this a national organization, based on what I'm hearing. Um, have you, so have you served, how much of the island have you worked with in terms of the neighborhoods? Where have you mainly worked so far?
So far, we're really mostly on the North Shore. I'd say Grasmere, Park Hill, Old Town, Dungan Hills, and that North Mid Shore sort of. But I want to eventually go across the whole island,
The whole
hopefully.
island's very much affected by this, and what's incredible is this, that we as an island, one of the big things that I say is that as New Yorkers, we all come together during bad situations like these, and we try to turn a negative into some sort of hope and optimism. And I noticed
Right.
that with your organization. That's one of the big aspects that I've noticed, that your organization is centered around giving back and helping people who really need the help. And I do want to ask a question that that is important in terms of this. Are you eventually do you take are you eventually going to take financial donations?
At the moment, I don't know if I've gone over this, but at the moment, we're not looking for any financial donations. We would just like, for you guys to spread our word and hopefully volunteer, help us out. But maybe down the line, if we expand, maybe that becomes an option for us.
Hmm.
Most
And
definitely.
this service is free to seniors. Now, unlike most organizations that do these kind of meals based services, this service is free to seniors. Correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
That's incredible. And I really that alone is certainly admirable. That is certainly admirable. That
Thank you so much. Yeah.
thank you for for doing what you're doing in the community. That's just an incredible thing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And the biggest thing is this, right? So how how do you get your the seniors to know about your organization? Right now, it's through social media, correct? It's only through Instagram, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Eventually, though, you will want to expand, to do you eventually want to perhaps expand the community and put a storefront in the community, or some sort of a like whenever there are events in the community, like the Richmond County Fair, for instance, or any of the food festivals, or any of the festivals that happen in New Dorp or Forest Avenue, any of those festivals. Do you folks want to put out a tent or anything like that, where you be able to get those people to sign up for for the donations or for the services, or sign up their family members or friends for your services?
Honestly, I feel that where we're at right now, we're just focusing on getting the word out there, getting a little bigger. I feel like once that becomes an option for us, we will definitely look at that and consider it heavily. But for right now, I feel like that's a little too far down the road for us. I feel like we just want to, get the word out there to the Staten Island community for now. And honestly, we're very happy with that.
It's important. And one of the most important ways, of building an organization like yours is through influencer-based marketing, as well as through, affiliate marketing, which one of the things that I'm going to do with your organization is work with my clients directly, restaurants, and even retail clients, just to get the word out there about your organization, to tell the public this organization is here to benefit the community. So we're going to start with an affiliate campaign, and then eventually, once we expand further, we're going to do an influencer-based campaign, where that kind of a campaign will get your message out there even further. And influencers do tend to, move people and assuage people to support an organization like yours,
Right.
or a movement like yours. And that's one of the big things that we're going to start doing in that aspect, for your organization.
We would be so thankful for that. Thank you. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Thank you.
So happy that we could get our word out there on a
Yeah.
large platform like that.
Of course, social media is honestly the mainstream source of distribution for content, because of the fact that
Right.
everybody finds out things through social media. And the thing is this, with an older
Mhm.
population, it's not just an older population. There are a lot of older people going on social media, a lot of senior citizens on social media, particularly on Facebook. But Instagram, though, their children and their grandchildren are more, they're more people who are in their generations X and Y, and even in the Zillennial generation, who are on that platform. And those people can,
Right.
your organization, and those people can then refer it to their grandparents, refer their grandparents to your organization. And that's one thing that's very important in that aspect. Have you received anything like that so far, where you've had
Some. Excuse me.
have you had any referrals from younger generations to the older
Oh,
generations?
not for the volunteers. We haven't had like any like what you're saying, Generation Z, X, Y, like them reach out to us in order for their grandparents. Usually the senior citizens come out to us directly. It's usually a direct link between us and them. But I'm sure that something like that, like what you mentioned, will definitely happen, where we get referenced through their grandchildren or their child or something along those lines. And honestly, that would be amazing too. Like, as long as we're getting the word out there, as long as we're getting volunteers and people that need help, as long as we're giving back, that's what needs to happen.
One of the big things that I do recommend for an organization like yours is that we should honestly, every time you go out in the community, you should do a video showing, the reaction of the seniors, showing how happy they are when they receive,
Right.
food and the beverages from you folks, because of the fact that they really, to show the appreciation, and that would encourage people not only to give, but also to volunteer for your organization. And that's one thing that we should focus on, is expanding the volunteer base. Now, how many volunteers have participated in, or how many volunteers, excuse me, pardon me for that question, how many volunteers do you want to expand this organization to in the next couple of months?
Like I said, I really want to focus on Staten Island and hopefully getting across the whole island. So however many people that brings us, we will work with and we will put them out there. Like, I don't really want to see like a limit, or I don't want to place a cap on people. I just want to get it out there, and whatever the numbers we receive, I know that we force this. So whatever the numbers we're ready for, and with that.
It's incredible. That's truly incredible.
Thank you.
Well, I want to thank you both for participating in today's interview. And how can people find out about your organization for now? Do you folks, have a website? Do you have a Facebook and well, you have an Instagram, obviously, but do you folks have a Facebook set up yet?
Oh, we're actually in the works of making a Facebook. That'll be up very, very soon.
Very soon.
But for right now, we just have the Instagram. So a follow on that would be great. Immensely help.
That's, folks, that is @ which you don't have to put the @ anymore, but that's Staten Island, like Staten Island _cares. And that's the Instagram username. So that's how you can follow your organization, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you so
you.
much for having us and putting us on this
Thanks for
platform.
being
It's
here.
amazing.
Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you so much.
I look forward to working with you folks in the future, and someday you'll come back on the interview to discuss the progress that you've made so far, and in terms of the growth and success of your organization and the people you've benefited, and that's really an important thing. And I really appreciate having you on today. I hope you will you will do great, and you will continue to do what you do in that aspect. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Joe. It means a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.